Tag TV, and Tag Radio. Technology now has a voice of innovation and information. Get it on www.tagtvonline.com. Journey beyond the wow of new ideas to engage the now that is innovation and transformation, and get ready to face revolutionary change. Next Wednesday, February the 27th at the Cobb Galleria, it's the 2008 Georgia Technology Summit, a one-of-a-kind gathering that brings together our state technology industry's best and brightest. Technology executives from across the state of Georgia will leave behind all they've ever known about conventional approaches to innovation and break free from the gravity of business process reengineering to prepare for the future of fundamental shift in the culture of every organization. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, February the 19th, a week and a day from the 2008 Georgia Technology Summit, and this is a special summit preview edition of Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Tino, the Georgia 2008 Technology Summit, Innovation and Transformation Facing Revolutionary Change. Oh, man, what can we expect?
Well, Frank, thanks for asking the question. I'm glad I'm on with you today. It's fun to chat with you about the kinds of things that are going to be happening at the summit. I think this is going to be the best yet. It's the stars are aligned. We've got some tremendous speakers coming in, and we've got some very unique things happening this year at the summit. This whole innovation and transformation is something that I think we're all seeing, and hopefully we can put it into perspective at the summit.
Now, for everybody, I'm sure they're aware this is something that is almost like the Addy Awards or the Mardi Gras or something. You know, those kind of things that start getting and planning right after the day of the one that's over from the previous year. I know this has been going on for some time in terms of organizing the committee and planning the theme and getting the speakers. Let's talk a little bit about some of the players that are involved in the committee themselves.
Well, Claire, she goes by Yum Arnold, is head of Leapfrog, which is a great organization in town that she founded, and she's also on our board and agreed to chair the summit. This is, as you know, no small task. People and committee members that are involved with this spend, as you said, a considerable amount of time getting ready. There's lots of moving parts, and as we've expanded the elements, it's become, a year-round effort, and we look forward to it. But it is a lot of work. It's nice when it's over. But then it's like the Super Bowl. We celebrate for a day or two, and then we start thinking about the next year. There's a great committee of folks on it. We don't have time to go through all the names, but the TAG Board of Directors is now 57 people strong, and there are a number of the board members that are active on it, but also people outside the board. So it's a nice mix of people with skills in marketing like yourself, and also people that are helping with sponsorship and securing speakers and all the preparation that goes into it. So I've been really pleased with the committee this year.
It's a much bigger event. I mean, it is when you see it. I mean, I'm sure that we're expecting over 800 people, maybe more. We've got a great keynote, Don Tapscott, author of Wikinomics. Talk a little bit about Don.
Well, we had a chance to interview Don on Tag Radio a few weeks ago, and he's a special person. I think he's one of the preeminent leaders in this whole mass collaboration movement and how it's going to change the dynamic of business. And I've over the course of the last few months, since people know that he's coming in, there have been a few of our leaders that have heard him in other settings and say he's just terrific. I think we found him to be funny, and also obviously extremely knowledgeable. And this is Wikinomics, I think, he told us his 11th or 12th book. So he's an author, and he's really leading this movement that we're all involved with.
Now, one of the things that if you deal in this subject, you either are immersed in it and very much understand the whole wiki movement, or you're on the outside and you kind of are questioning just what it's about. I think one thing that Don brings to the table in a word is clarity. I think a lot of people are going to really leave fully understanding this whole concept of wikis and of Wikinomics and how it's going to affect their businesses.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's exactly right. And this clarity issue is important, and how to apply it. I think everyone, most of the business leaders, know that the movement of utilizing wikis and how they can how they can maximize use of the internet and all the
well, and this whole mass collaboration, I mean, it's all embedded in part of that, and what are we going to be doing in terms of building new ideas, new products, new business models, and how these things are going to affect all those things. I think that's these wikis appear to be at the core of it.
He's got some real stories real life stories that have changed businesses, those early adopters, and I'm sure he'll share some of those as well.
Entertaining, educational, I think that's always the case, what you try to do in putting this agenda together, and I think he is really the definition of that. And, of course, when you talk about entertaining and informative, we've got a real great one when you want to explore revolutionary change. Who better to do it than to have someone who's talking about, of all people, Edison. Let's talk about Michael Gelb, our featured speaker, author of Innovate Like Edison, really a pioneer in the field of creative thinking.
Well, you and I also had a chance to chat with him on Tag Radio a couple of weeks ago, and he's an impressive guy. We had heard about him through one of our board members, and we did some research, and he's a nationally renowned speaker. He's been all over the world to speak and is much in demand, and I really like the guy. He's innovative, and we're fortunate to have two keynoters, if you will, one to kick it off and one to close it. Don is going to be going on early in the morning, and then Michael Gelb at lunchtime. And his better-known book, or one of his first books, he's written about a dozen books as well, is How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci, and now he's come back with Innovate Like Edison. And I think it provides a nice contrast as people are thinking about Wikinomics and the transformation of the future through use of the wiki and mass collaboration. But then, going back sort of to the roots of innovation and the importance of the great thinkers and innovators of our time and how that applies today. So we couldn't have planned for a better opener and closer than
well, I think you did plan. That's the whole point. I don't think it's accidental excellence. In this case, I think we've got a great show and an entertaining one. Again, one of the things you hear a lot of times is, I just got too many meetings to go to. I can't do all the things I really want to do. My schedule's booked. And here we're talking about one that can take a couple of hours of your time, but boy, packed from start to finish with really good information, education, news. Now, one of the things I know you're going to be talking about is state of the industry. Your regular report, you'll be bringing some of that to the summit as well, correct?
Absolutely. Grounded in the middle of Wikinomics and Innovating Like Edison is what's happening in Georgia. So TAG feels like it's in a leadership position to be an information repository for the state, to help our business leaders and those looking to move to Georgia to put a business here or grow their business once it's here. And we're going to be providing them with some information that they can use as part of their business. The message is going to be that Georgia has a lot of great things going on. We're positioned to be one of the top fastest growing technology states. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, there's some things we have to work on, and I want to challenge the audience as well as inform them regarding to where we stand today and what our potential is for the future.
Now, as the old rock and roll radio announcers say, and the hits just keep on coming, we can't underestimate what the great job that's done by the top 40, top 10 Most Innovative Company Committee and search that goes on all year long. I know that's chaired by Dennis Zakis. Tell us a little bit about that. Those guys will not only be in the exhibit hall displaying a lot of their concepts, ideas, and products, but also they get an opportunity to present to the audience. Is that right?
That's right, and I think this year some of the people on the task force have been talking about hitting the tipping point, and I think it's true. Looking over the course of the last few years, when we started, and Dennis has been with us in this project since the beginning in terms of the top 40. First year, frankly, you get the word out, and there's so many great companies here. But to get 40 companies in year one that are top innovators is not an easy task. But we accomplished it with a few to spare. This year we absolutely were deluged with tremendous companies that submitted applications.
I was talking to Dennis yesterday. He said he had over 120 nominations that had come through, and of course they go through this laborious vetting process. I had an opportunity. We were doing some work with getting ready for the event yesterday, and I was just impressed about the amount of time committed by those volunteer judges that really take the time to sit and work and talk with each one of the people as they vet through the process of going up the ladder from the total number of nominations down to the selection of the actual choices.
Well, they're still going through it. We've selected the top 40, and we're anxious to announce the top 10. And the top 10, as you mentioned, they're going to have a chance to spend 3 minutes each presenting their case to 800 people. What a great opportunity for those companies and for the top 48 people. Frankly, even though we have tremendous speakers, it's hard to get them back into the room once they're.
Yeah. Well, but again, what's also for the audience, for the attendees, powerhouse knowledge, powerhouse information, entertainment this year with a lot of things that the clarity of the wiki and talking about Edison, and but also this is an insider's look into the next wave of new companies, new ideas, new products. You can't help but, even if you're not involved in a particular business or industry, to learn and to connect kind of the dots as you sit and listen to the eclectic group of companies that are being presented.
Well, we talk about innovation being in Georgia's DNA, and it's absolutely true. We have people don't realize how many new establishments are being formed and how many companies are growing here, and it's just I think it speaks to the viability of our state. And the judges have done a great job. It's a lot of work, as it is work for the task force to put this together. And none of this would be possible really without our sponsors. And we've got a tremendous group of sponsors that are supporting this event, and they're looking to build brand. We've got more sponsors than ever before, and we've got 4 platinum sponsors this year, all great companies. Testcom, Primus Software, Pyramid Consulting, and our latest one, Verizon, and they've stepped up as platinum. And I just heard today on the radio that platinum's going for about $2,500 an ounce now. So we are proud to have 4 platinum sponsors, and they're as valuable to us as platinum is on the open market.
Well, and it's a partnership. There's no two ways about it. These are not just people that are in the sense of sponsors. These are participants in the growth of the industry that care about the outreach, and some of the things that TAG is all about. And I think it just kind of creates that kind of perfect synergy when these kind of events. It is the Georgia Technology Summit. 2008 now. This has been going on for some time, and it is really a celebration about the industry, and so who about the best and brightest should be helping to support it by helping to underwrite it and being able to bring all these great speakers and all this entertainment to the audience. Let's talk just briefly about one more aspect. There's a couple more I want to bring up, but one is the GRA TAG Business Launch Competition. The winner of that will be appearing as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we're talking about this now because we're closing the competition for business launch for year 3 here. GRA and TAG put this together 3 years ago to stimulate the businesses in the seed fund category. In other words,
$300,000. That's stimulation, if I've ever heard it. As far as
it's the top one in the country, as far as we know. $100,000 in cash and $200,000 in services. We don't think anyone else is doing this, and
not to mention the access to leaders and the influencers that they get an opportunity to be involved in. So the nominations are still going on for this, or is it closed?
It's closing. It's closing as we speak. So, but just today we've gotten 40 applications in. So we're also getting swamped on this one. It's we'll probably have 100 applications when it's over, and these are all companies with very strict guidelines. They can't have raised more than $500,000 in outside resources, but they have to be a viable going concern. Can be pre-revenue, so it's great. And this year's theme is Internet Technologies, and we've had a couple of great winners. First year, ReachMD, which company is growing and going strong, which we're proud of to have a part in that. And then last year, iVox. And iVox is an interesting company, and we're going to hear from Greg Warren, who's the founder of that company, and talk about how he won the competition and what's happening with their company post-competition.
Now, let's just say the whipped cream on the cafe latte. We this year have the opportunity to be the host event for the 2007 inductee to the Technology Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we've been able to pull this in. And TAG talks about educating, informing, and uniting the technology community, and we've been helping to do that in a number of different ways, including the GRA TAG Business Launch Competition. And the latest is to work with our friends at PricewaterhouseCoopers and Georgia Tech, who were two of the early pioneers in respect to the Georgia Technology Hall of Fame, the founders, I would say. And we talked to them last year and said, wouldn't it be nice to have this award, which is probably the most prestigious award in the state, to be given out at the prestigious Georgia Technology Summit, and they agreed wholeheartedly. So for the first time, we're going to have the event, and our own board member and close friend and someone I'm really proud is getting the award. Sig Mosley is going to be the honoree. So hopefully people will come out, if for nothing else, to support Sig and all the work he does in our community.
One of the things about the Hall of Fame is that it really is a sense of identity, a sense of place for the entire industry in the state. And when you look across the number of inductees that have gone on since, I think, 1993, it is pretty amazing. And really, if you ever really want to track that DNA thing that we talk about as far as innovation being in our DNA, it really starts with these people that help build, in a sense, our industry. And so what a great honor, but what a perfect place for it to kind of culminate together all at one time in one place. And here we have the inductee each year now going to happen at the Georgia Technology Summit each year. Perfect storm, or perfect synergy, I think. Let's wrap it up a little bit. We are talking a week and a day away from the 2008 Georgia Technology Summit. It's next Wednesday, February 27th. Cobb Galleria starts at 7:30. The registration
starts at 7:30, but the all-important networking aspect, if people want to come at 6:30 a.m., they're welcome to it. The exhibitors, the top 40, will be setting up early, along with our major sponsors, and we'd love for people to come out early. And it's not too late for them to register. We still have room. A nice thing about having the event at the Cobb Galleria is I think every year I'll be able to say we still have room. But as you mentioned, we are expecting over 800 people, and we hope to get, after this radio interview, I hope to get one more big push, and who knows, we may get up towards 1,000.
Boy, that'll be really great. Again, one last time, Georgia Technology Summit 2008. For all of the people who have been listening, we could have told you more details, but that's pretty much just a preview. a lightning rod event that begins with Don Tapscott, runs throughout the day, one better speaker after the next, one more informative or entertaining presentation. Tino, once again, hats off. It sounds like we've got ourselves unquestionably the biggest and the best technology summit ever.
Well, I look forward to seeing all our friends from TAG there, and I'll see you next week as well.
Thanks, Tino.